Still this day, the consequences are being felt. But this isn't about her. This is about life and how it transpired through that of the eyes of her daughter. By the time this little girl was familiar with her surrounding, her world was already defined. Food was scarce. Music was her nightly lullaby. Day was night, night was day. Police visits so frequent that this child thought this was normal. As she grew, reality started coming into focus, quickly learning out of fear to hide anywhere, under a bed, in a closet, behind furniture. Anything in effort to escape the gifts of rage of her mother or the many male friends that she brought into the home. Life was so confusing. How could she be shown special treatment one moment and fists of rage the next? She did everything that was asked of her. How is it possible to so quickly be frowned upon and punished? The basic needs of her life and that of her brothers were not being met. There was never a cabinet full of food, a shelf with just a single can of soup. The refrigerator was full of adult nightlife beverages, along with a stick of butter, blocks of cheese, milk, an odd combination. But the latter was through the gifts of state government assistance. When it came to bathing, which was very rare due to the fact that their water was turned off more than it was on, it was without soap or shampoo. And that brought an entirely different level of obstacles to navigate for this young girl. She went to school with dirty clothes. She smelled dirty hair. Can you imagine how this affected her? How others may have treated her? The lifestyle she lived and how she looked embarrassed her, but not enough that she wouldn't go to school. For school, it was not about learning. It was about that one person, her teacher, that she knew cared. A warm place to spend the day, and one hot meal so that she wouldn't go hungry. You must wonder, where on earth is this girl's mother? She's there, navigating her own obstacles, called addiction, drugs and alcohol, battling it alone with her 2 young children, which had then grown to 3. Another child came into the family. Along with that, her mother had an award-winning ability to attract male friends that failed the class of kindness, patience, and compassion, yet they did ace the class on abuse. The events of this girl's life was ongoing, ever-changing, and unfortunately typical. The cycle continued throughout her young adolescent years. Her mother, brothers, and her, and spent times in and out of women's shelters to escape the terror that frequented their lives. Each time resulted in a new set of nightmares to overcome and in hopes to forget. This life was nothing close to a gift. No one, let alone a child, should ever have to endure a life like this. To go to sleep starving, in a house unfurnished, and most of the time resulted in sleeping on the floor with nothing more than a large towel as a blanket and a pile of dirty clothes as a pillow. How does one survive this life? What kind of impression do you think this girl could leave? Is it possible that she could live a life with kindness, compassion, and humility, even patience? I can see many reasons for hatred, resentment, rebellion. The cycle of her life continued through the summer of her 13th year. That was the year that one neighbor, observant, kind enough, and willing to stand up against the unexpected to contact the police. She had noticed bruising around the girl's neck, which resembled hand marks, and in fact they were. They were hand marks of her mother. Intoxicated and hallucinating, had mistaken this little girl as an intruder, grabbed her by the neck and lifted her off the floor and started choking her until by the grace of God, the mother passed out, releasing her. That was the beginning of end of her life of horror. Hiding the pain of her childhood haunts her still today. Struggling to understand the need to change history, the dream of hearing, I am sorry for all I did to hurt you. And the reality of a childhood lost, the feeling of loneliness, the nightmares that kept her company, and the secrets she kept for years to come. Even today, these moments are as vivid to her as yesterday and today. For this girl, there are no memories of birthday cakes, parties, or presents. No memories of starting kindergarten, elementary school, all lost, forgotten, or never existed. She was alone with no one there to wipe her tears, to say, I love you and I'll take care of you. There was no box of keepsakes neatly tucked in her parents' attic. No best friend that she was able to share secrets, fears, or excitement with. No school activities with her parents sitting proudly in the audience. There was only her, with her secrets and pain that sat with her in the night as she cried herself to sleep. The memories of that life stayed with her most of her life until one day she realized there is one thing that's better than her previous life of hell, and that is acceptance. Because of that, I stand here today to say that the little girl in that story was me. That was my life. That's how it started. I was removed from my birth mother at the age of 13 and was in state care until the age of 16 when I was reunited with my father for the first time since I was an infant. I lived with him for 2 years until I graduated high school and was adopted by his wife. Unfortunately, the story doesn't end so nicely for my birth mother. She died September 2007, alone. It was 5 days before anybody knew. It's tough to think about that, someone dying alone. No one checking on somebody for 5 days. I don't have all the answers. I don't understand. I don't have the answers to why I endured the mental, physical, emotional abuse and other abuse that we don't talk about in church, but it happened. What I do have is forgiveness. Because of a few individuals, strangers to me, that cared enough to stand up to the unknown and showed kindness, compassion, and no matter what, my life mattered. A life of a complete stranger mattered. I lived through hell and I survived. I am stronger for it and believe that our past experiences set into motion a chain of events that will begin to define the person we will become and the difference we are willing to make. This is my opportunity to pay forward my sincerest thank you for 3 nameless individuals that I will never know who they were, what their names are. But they made a choice which led to me standing here today. Their choices had consequences. And I am that person to pay tribute to their courage. As the years pass, I watch the time left with my children growing shorter and shorter. And I hope I have instilled into them to be compassionate and caring and to step outside their comfort zone and do things that make a difference in a positive way. I reflect back and I realize how grateful I am for the horrific beginnings because I know it's made me a better mother. I know my journey is far from over. So I pray that no matter what, we continue to turn to God to help us through any obstacle, patience for the result, and ensure every moment we have, we are leaving a gift for a better tomorrow. Thank you.